So this past weekend at Genesis featured mainly three big moments. Of course, it featured the I Quit match main event between Willie Mack and Moose. It also featured Jordan Grace going up against Jazz. But also the big thing that the majority of the show was centered around was the Super X Cup tournament, with 8 Impact Wrestling X Division athletes vying it out to see who could be the winner of the Super X Cup. And ultimately, as you can see right there, Ace Austin left Genesis with that Super X Cup trophy. Now, what we want to talk about is they want to talk about through, obviously, the matches that we saw this past Saturday at Genesis. And we also want to talk about what it means that Ace Austin won the Super X Cup. Now, as far as I'm aware, there's no actual stipulation of the victory. Ace Austin won the trophy, that's it. But what I do think it probably means is whoever wins that X Division Championship match at Hard to Kill on Saturday, whether it's Chris Bay, Manik or Rohit Raju, they're probably going to be facing Ace Austin going forward in Impact Wrestling. Why? Because he obviously has the claim to say, look, I won the Super X Cup tournament, I'm the best in the X Division, therefore I should be the X Division champion. So it looks like Ace Austin probably will be the next challenger for the X Division Championship, as he should be. He should be doing something. It was a crime that he wasn't doing anything towards the end of the year. They explained that at Genesis as a way that Ace Austin took a step away to reevaluate everything that was going on after losing at Slammiversary and after losing at Bound for Glory. He needed to step away and figure out what went wrong and what went right for him in his career in 2020. And now we're in 2021. It's going to be a successful year for Ace Austin, etc., etc. So they explained it away fairly nicely. I think in the grand scheme of things, it's just they didn't have anything that they could do with Ace Austin, they felt, at the end of 2020, so they kept him on the shelf. I don't agree with it, but we spoke about that in depth in another video, so only time will tell when it comes to the success of Ace Austin in 2021. But let's go through some of the matches on the show, because I did think all the matches were very good. I did think it was a very well done tournament. I'm a fan of tournament wrestling. I know some people don't like them. I know specifically Vince McMahon, and of course this isn't a WWE video, but Vince McMahon hates tournaments. That's why we don't have the King of the Ring pay-per-view anymore. Of course, occasionally we do have the King of the Ring tournament, but a one-night tournament, Vince McMahon's not a fan, and a lot of people aren't. In fairness, some people aren't fans of one-night tournaments. They find them boring, and they find seeing the same person compete over and over again boring. I disagree with that point of view. You can let me know your thoughts about tournaments in the comment section below. Personally, I'm a big fan of tournament wrestling, so I was excited to see the X Division really take centre stage at Genesis and really have a show essentially centred around this Super X Cup tournament. Now, going into the show, if you watched any of the predictions or preview videos I did for Genesis or talking about the Super X Cup tournament, you would know that I mentioned that I personally felt that this entire tournament was a vehicle for Ace Austin to build up momentum that he didn't have after not appearing on TV in the last 3 months of 2020, and also to give him, obviously as I mentioned, to give him momentum, but also to give him an accolade that he could then take into 2021 and go back into the X Division Championship picture. He was crowned the X Division Star of the Year. It was very obvious to me that he was going to win the Super X Cup, and on top of being crowned the X Division Star of the Year, he would probably be competing for the X Division Championship very soon. I think that's the case. So, what happened in terms of the matches on the show? Well, first match of the show, Ace Austin defeated Suicide. The finish was essentially Madman Fulton providing a distraction from ringside. Ace Austin capitalized with the fold to get the victory. I thought it was a good opening match. It is interesting, isn't it, when you watch these Impact Wrestling shows, and especially when you watch the shows like Genesis that don't really have any backstage promos, or they don't have any, well, certainly they don't have any promos in the ring, they don't have any backstage vignettes or backstage segments or anything like that. Obviously, at this point, we've had no fans in Impact Wrestling for, what, 9 months, 10 months at this point. We are getting used to it. If anything, it seems strange to go back and watch those Impact shows where there were fans in attendance. But when you do have just pure wrestling shows like this, it does go to show that it is still difficult to watch. And I do think as fans, we have adjusted to not having any fans in attendance at the arenas. But especially when you watch AEW and they have the fans surrounding the ring, and you have the fans in attendance actually socially distanced, and then you watch WWE and you have obviously the WWE Thunderdome, the virtual fans there providing a bit of atmosphere. You obviously have the enhanced noise as well. All of that does make the show more watchable. It just does. So when you have a show that's pure wrestling like Genesis or any Impact pay-per-view that they do, it still can be difficult to watch. And that was something I noticed in this match, but I thought it was a very good opener, and it was something I predicted. Obviously, I predicted Ace Austin was going to win the whole thing, so it wasn't a surprise there in the slightest. Now, the next match in the Super X Cup tournament first round, we had Blake Christian versus Casey Navarro. Now, the ending of this match was Blake Christian getting a victory, doing some high-risk offense. I found that what they did really well, Impact, when they did this Super X Cup tournament, especially in the matches like Casey Navarro versus Blake Christian, if you hadn't heard of them before, if you weren't familiar with them, or even if you were but you wanted to know more about them, before every person's first match, they aired a video package to basically say, this is the person, this is their intentions, this is why they've come to Impact, this is why they want to win the Super X Cup. They tried to give a video package to explain a bit more about the person, give a bit more background information, and I thought that was well done. I thought Blake Christian's promo package about himself, I thought he did very well. What I will say about Casey Navarro, and I don't know if this would be slightly controversial, I really want to talk about it because I'm not sure if it's just me, and I would be really curious to get your opinions on it. When I saw Casey Navarro's promo package, there is no doubt he's got a great look, a fantastic look. There's no doubt he can work in the ring as well, and there's no doubt he can talk. He cuts a very good promo. I don't know if I believed it. That was the thing I just kept thinking during all of that. And it kind of came across during the match as well, specifically with Casey Navarro. I think Blake Christian's fantastic in the ring. I think his promo was genuine. He came across as such a babyface, a very sympathetic babyface of a hard worker just trying to achieve his dreams. I thought that was well done. Casey Navarro and his promo package, it just came across to me that he was trying too hard. He was trying to be something that I'm not sure I fully believed, if that makes sense. That was the thing that came across to me during his promo package. Towards the end, I believed it a little bit more, but I kind of just felt, this guy's trying really hard to be the smart talking heel, and I'm just not sure if I believe it. That was my big thing that I felt when I was watching that. As far as the match, all of these matches in this Super X tournament were phenomenal, and that's what you expect from the X Division. People confuse the X Division with high-flying styles, and they're like cruiserweights, right? No, people confuse that. The X Division to me has always been about great matches and having fantastic matches. And I thought that's what this Super X Cup tournament really did very well, is they had fantastic matches. So really enjoyed Blake Christian versus Casey Navarro, but Blake Christian gets the victory. Next one was Davari versus Cousin Jake. Now, as far as matches go, this was completely different, and I don't think this was a bad thing. I think some people might have criticised this match to say, well, you've got the high-flying matches, you've got Ace Austin, then you've got Casey Navarro versus Blake Christian, they're high-flying, they're X Division styles, and then you've got Davari versus Cousin Jake, and it was completely different. That's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. The X Division has always been an amalgamation of styles. It's always been a hybrid style of bringing across British style of wrestling, Mexican style of lucha libre, high-flying action from the USA, hard-hitting style from Japan as well. It's meant to be bringing together all of those styles. That's why it's called the X Division, right? It's intangible. You can't really pin down as to what the style is because it's a hybrid of styles. So I wasn't totally against at all the style that they did in this match. More of a traditional wrestling match, certainly slower, certainly had the pace dictated to by Davari, but I thought it did very well. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed this match because it was different to what we were seeing in the previous two matches. So Cousin Jake gets the victory in that one. The finish was Davari targeting Cousin Jake by locking in a figure four leg lock, but then Jake hits a signature swinging slam to advance to the next round. So those three I'd predicted pretty well. I thought I was on a roll when it came to the Super X Cup tournament brackets. Then we had Trey Lamar versus Crazy Steve. This is where I got one wrong because Crazy Steve defeated Trey Lamar in the Super Cup tournament first round. I felt this one could have gone either way. I thought it was a fun match. I just felt that with Crazy Steve getting the victory on Impact on Tuesday, I actually felt that it was less likely that he would have some success at Genesis. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking in the WWE point of view because, of course, whenever on WWE television, if you win the match on the episode prior to the pay-per-view, that means you're not winning at the pay-per-view. It was different with Crazy Steve. I suppose as well that you have to be careful in the sense that they've already got one guy that's kind of outside of Impact going the distance when it comes to the Super X Cup tournament. They still got to have their own guys go over. And I know that maybe people will think, well, that's too political. Impact wouldn't think like that. All pro wrestling companies do. It's just the politics of pro wrestling. Why would you put over someone that doesn't have a contract with the company as opposed to someone who is there every week, does have a contract with the company? I think that's the case. I really enjoyed the match, but Crazy Steve got the victory in that one. So that was the semi-finals were then set. We had Ace Austin versus Cousin Jake, and we had Crazy Steve versus Blake Austin. I've already forgot his name. Blake Christian. Sorry, I'm getting so many names getting mixed up. So that was the case there, and then we had the semi-final matches. In that we had Ace Austin versus Cousin Jake in the Super X Cup tournament semi-final. Of course, Ace Austin got the victory in that one. He counted a top rope gut wrench into the fold to move on to the finals. Enjoyed this one. I wasn't sure if it was as good as the opening match. I felt the Ace Austin Suicide match was better. Maybe because the styles were a bit more, they blended together a bit more nicely. I think maybe that's possibly the situation there. But it wasn't surprising, as I mentioned. I picked Ace Austin to go all the way anyway. So that was the situation with that one. So Ace Austin was in the final there. And then we had the second semi-final where we had Blake Christian versus Crazy Steve in the second semi-final of the Super X Cup tournament. Blake Christian gets the victory as Christian hits a top rope 450 splash to secure his victory and move on to the finals. And the reason I gloss over those semi-finals, they were fantastic matches, but I really want to get to this final because if you haven't seen it, or you didn't think about watching Genesis, you don't have Impact Plus, whatever, go out of your way to watch Blake Christian versus Ace Austin in the final of the Super X Cup tournament because it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I know we're on January the 11th right now. There have only been 11 days of 2021, but it's an early contender for match of the year. It's just spectacular, absolutely spectacular. Me trying to talk through the spots that they did in this match certainly wouldn't do it justice. It was absolutely spectacular. Definitely, it's already one of the better matches of 2021, and I know there haven't been many, but come the end of the year, it still is going to be one of the better matches of 2021. It's just that good. It's absolutely fantastic. They had near falls, you had moonsaults, 450 splashes, Ace still kicking out at 2 counts. Then you had Ace Austin who couldn't put away as Christian kicks out of a plethora of Ace Austin's signature moves. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic, but eventually Ace Austin connects with the fold to win the match and therefore win the 2021 Super X Cup tournament. So Ace Austin joins the names of Chris Sabin, Samoa Joe, Desmond Xavier, and now Ace Austin as names who have won the Super X Cup tournament. So I really enjoyed the tournament. I thought it was a fantastic tournament to feature on a fantastic show. As I mentioned, there wasn't a ton advertised for the show. There was the Super X Cup, there was the match between Jordan Grace and Jazz, and there was also the main event. Every match I felt on the show delivered, which is what you would expect for a show, right? So I felt that it was a success in that. And frankly, we did a video, and I spoke about it earlier on here in this video. We spoke about Ace Austin not being used at the end of 2020 and how that probably wasn't right. And look, this is a guy that's so talented. This is a guy that's got so much to offer Impact Wrestling. This is a guy that is going to be a future world champion in Impact. This is a guy that should be in the main events for Impact Wrestling. You find something for him to do. Maybe this is the case now, I suppose, that yes, they didn't have him on TV for 3 months, and I felt like that was the wrong call. Nevertheless, they found something for him to do now, and it was something big. He goes into a list of very exclusive former Impact stars and current Impact stars, including Chris Sabin, of people that have won this tournament. It sets him up very nicely for the rest of 2021. It sets him up to go into the X Division Championship picture again, which I think is fine. I think eventually I want to see him in the main event. I want to see him competing for world championships, but I do think that will come in 2021. I really do. I think Ace Austin, he's still, is he 23, 24? He still has a very long and very successful career ahead of him, and he's still under contract until 2022, 2023, so there is still a lot of success that I think is going to come Ace Austin's way, and I think this was just the start. So I think coming out of Hard to Kill, we'll probably have Ace Austin facing the winner of that X Division triple threat. Who will that be? Well, we're going to be doing Hard to Kill preview and predictions later on this week, so be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. You'll be able to see exactly who I think will win that match. All I will say now is I really hope we get an Ace Austin versus Chris Bay feud for the X Division Championship at some point over the next few months, because I've mentioned before that I think those guys will be future main eventers, and I mentioned before I think both of those guys will be future Impact World Champions, and I think that could be the heel and babyface duo that feud over the Impact World Championship going forward over the next couple of years in Impact. So I really do think that that could be a nice indicator of where Impact is going to go over the next few years. So maybe we could see Ace Austin versus Chris Bay for the X Division Championship over the next few months coming out of Hard to Kill. That is, of course, if Chris Bay wins the X Division Championship this coming Saturday. Of course, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But as always, of course, this is just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on Ace Austin winning the Super X Cup tournament at Genesis this past weekend? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about Impact Wrestling, WWE, AEW, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So get involved in the community, drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button. Really does help us out here on YouTube, go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.